Alright, back with another segment of some can of haterade, or haterade can, whatever you want to call it. Doesn't matter. Here to be pissed. Usually not that pissed, but right now there's a couple of subjects I gotta bring out or call out. Now, there's been an article on Kotaku, an article made by a game tester in the US, tested Halo 4, one of his recent projects, basically calling out these outsourcing or tester outsourcing companies, which makes a lot of sense. I mean, personally, I've been in QA for a while, and outsourcing has always, up until recently, been somewhat of a grind. Now, he called out things as in having a huge amount of crunch time, not getting any rewards, always having that wavy little contract, permanency contract, waved in front of your face if you're going to do a heck ton of, overtime, crunch time, and all that. And it made a lot of sense. This person basically wanted to form a union, QA union, because, hey, testing has been a bit abused. I can tell you that already. Now, what's bringing on that haterade that's bottled up right now is some twats going on into the comment section. Tell me about it. Comment section of Kotaku is full of ignorance. So basically, I shouldn't let it frustrate me. But I don't know. This one personally hit home, where some twats have been going, well, if you don't like it, you might as well just quit your job. There's 1,000 more people that would want jobs like that. And this kind of, ticked. Kind of made me tick, because just looking at this guy's comment, I have absolutely no idea if this guy is some grade schooler or just an ignorant adult that has no idea what they're talking about and is talking out of his ass. So, but still, if you're ignorant about the medium, then before saying such shit, please do some research. I mean, what does this come to? This guy's personally calling out the industry, as many have done. I mean, I've seen not publishers, fuck publishers to a certain degree, but I've seen producers and artists call out the industry on their bullshit. And okay, I didn't get such a reaction, right? But now this tester's calling out the outsourcing mediums, and you're starting to see comments like that. Why don't you quit your job? Because I'm pretty sure more people are gonna get into that. And there's a fucked up logic where, okay, what if the person does quit? Wait, no, before that, easier said than done. You can't just tell them, why don't you quit your job? Who knows? Maybe that person needs that job or needs that $11 per hour in order to get a revenue, a living, or whatever. So you can't just tell, of course, whenever a person say, just quit your job, never do it. You can't just do it out front. You always got to look for other things. And at the same time, is this the attitude everyone wants to have? Oh, something's wrong? Why don't you quit? Oh, something's not fully working or something's unfair? Why don't you quit? So, wait a minute. A person's no longer allowed to talk about such things, to start discussion, to start planning, to try and get things evolved. Now, it's, hey, why don't you quit? I'm sorry, sir. Go fuck yourself and shut the fuck up. Unless you actually know what this people, or, well, actually you know what the person's going through and you're still acting or saying ignorant shit. So please, shut the fuck up. I mean, personally, I fully understand this person's will to want to make a union. I've been in this fucking industry for a while, and testing so far has got me really jaded for all the factors that have been named. The little waving of the contract, the crunch times, the unfair crunch times, the stupid little loops they try to make you jump into to get these done, or to get somewhat of a raise. Fucked up. I mean, I can tell you a bit of my past experience. First company I ever worked with for a third-person shooter game. I'm not gonna go too deep into it, but that was my first testing job. And of course, it's all nice and sunny once you first start. And out of nowhere, you get there at 7 in the morning, and your boss is like, "Yo, do you want to do some overtime tonight? And of course, 7 in the morning, I'm like, well, I might have plans tonight. And the answer I constantly got was, well, we're gonna consider this next time we want to look for people for extended contracts or permanency contract. And I could just smell the disgusting attitude from this. Just you don't want to do it? Okay, we won't keep you permanently. Fuck the fact that you have a life and such. We just won't keep you permanently. So eventually, after a while, went on, did all that overtime, went through that crunch time, and the project was over. So my answer, or the answer I got was, well, we're gonna call you back. When are you guys gonna call me back? We're gonna call you back. All right. At that point, I got a job as a security guard because I can't just wait for a call back. 6 or 7 months later, I finally get a call back for another project. Man, that sure took a while. Now imagine that little process, rinse and repeat a couple of more times as I was working for this company. So, little, hey, you want to do some more overtime? Then you might as well fucking do it. And then we're gonna call you back. When are we gonna call you back? At one point, right? So that happened. Kind of gets quite annoying. Switched company because after a while, other places looked way more interesting. Went on to this software testing company. For a while, it looked like a dream job. Higher salary, paid to draw, which is good because at first I was supposed to help them with their software, and then since that project flopped, they kept me there as a tester. So, all right, cool. Now, after a while, political games started showing up. I fucking hate political games within companies. Project managers being shifted from one side to another and never reappearing. And at the same time, a couple of testers had to go or just got fed up. Now, at the same time, they were asking for ridiculous crunch time. Imagine a program like Adobe Photoshop tested by one person for a month. Oh yeah, that's not gonna work, right? So, and especially when asking for copies of their software, because sometimes you're really into that job, you kind of want to test them at work or do extra work. Well, you're not gonna get a free copy. Even if you do artwork for us, we're gonna make you pay. We're gonna take it over your take it over your paycheck. And yeah, at this point, you know what? Fuck it. Went, found another job. Long year passed. Finally went into this other game testing company, and from that point on, I kind of noticed with that company they had this tendency of, we're gonna give you a 1-year contract, and you're gonna have to be let go for 3 months. Why do I need to be let go for 3 months? Can't I have permanency? Because this was already a part-time, full-time type of job, depending on how many people get scheduled. So at this point, basically you get a 3 months off. Why? Because if you stayed an entire year, you would be eligible for a raise. So that was a problem for them. Really now? Well, that's quite interesting because you're basically taking the person for 3 months off because you do not want to give them a raise or a chance of permanency. You scumbags. Alright. Spend that year. Never went back to that company again because, seriously, fuck that. Unless I was really desperate, I wouldn't come back to that company anyway. Now, went to another company, again, dreamland, flowers everywhere, sunshine, and this went into another level because I really liked the company's games. So I gave some extra work, did the overtime, and I finally got permanency. Fucking awesome. It was the start of that studio at my hometown, so great. Finally got permanency, possible integration to production, might learn some tips and tricks to becoming a production artist, and everything looked great. Until at one point, financial issues started hitting. So I saw good friends getting cut without telling that their contract was not getting renewed and such things. And then out of nowhere, I got called in the office. My boss is like, "Yo, let's have a talk." Like we usually do. So I'm all right, all right. Get to the office, and the HR person's there. Yep, you're gonna have to be cut. Okay, so I busted my ass. I was really involved with this company, even made a couple of comics for the Daily Letter. Did my overtime, got permanency, and I still wound up to be one of the first cuts because I was permanent. Now, you can kind of understand that at this point, I started raising middle fingers to every gaming companies because I am sick and shitty tired of these conditions. Now, and you can kind of see why right now, when that person said, "Oh, why don't you quit your job? I'm sure 100,000 person would want this kind of job." I tell that person, "Fuck you and eat shit, you little." I'd have to censor the rest, but fuck censoring. I would literally, out of gut reaction, I would punch the person in the face. And I know that would be wrong of me, but there would be this gut reaction of just going, "Okay, you're gonna say this without knowing what's in the industry? Bam, you deserve a slug to the face." Because the industry is no longer that dreamland or that promising land that people were expecting it to be. It's becoming a cesspool of shit. And frankly, when it comes to industry job, big companies are no longer appealing because for whatever fucking reason, you can always get cut off. Doesn't matter if you're going to do overtime and all that or pour your soul into a project, you're always expendable. You're an expendable asset. They can replace you with Joe Schmo fucktard that doesn't have any experience, and they'll take the consequences of having buggy games, but they'll save money. They don't care about loyalty and all that shit like before. No, they just want money. So, frankly, when you're gonna start cussing out people for calling them out like that, go fuck yourself, you cunt. No joke. They don't need to hear or see ignorance come spewing out of your mouth after having such a hard time. I don't know how long that tester was working, but he's already had the burnt experience. And I don't blame him for trying to form a union. On another hand, whoever's been cussing him out or trying to say, that little quote of, "Oh man, I wouldn't do a job like that." Well, obviously those people haven't been fucking listening or understanding the situation. And frankly, before they start spewing their ignorant shit, they should start doing research on such things. Fuck. Seriously, annoyances. So, frankly, I wish more and more people would just call out companies like that. It should become something to be done whenever something goes wrong. And I'm not talking about first world problem whining. No, I'm talking about serious scummish industry type of actions. And whoever's gonna go, "Oh well, why don't you just give up and do something else?" Well, consider it's not that fucking easy. And if you're gonna start using that act or attitude on whatever happens, then wow, you're really a pathetic sack of shit, and you should just shut the fuck up. Oh, something goes wrong, just give up and go? Fuck you. I'm not asking for a revolution or whatever, but just discussion, pulling out ideas, talking about it. Because, hey, if we just let these things die down, things become worse and worse and worse. Just some thoughts. Later, guys.